Noel Halford, what makes you optimistic?
Waking up in the morning and knowing that it is within my capabilities or those around me to make the new day better than the last one.
Now, Charlotte, you are smiling broadly, beautiful white hat. What makes you optimistic?
We had a great group chat, and one of the things that I said was that I've been in Australia for 40 years this year, and there has never been a day when I've woken up when I haven't felt optimistic. Australians are optimistic people, and it is just such a great country to come and live in because you just feel free every day. Even with the restrictions we have, you still feel free, and if it's going to be, it's up to me.
Just to say that certainly within Rotary, if I look back on all the things that have come my way, I've been extremely fortunate, so that I know the way forward through Rotary just opens up so many opportunities. How can you not be optimistic being a Rotarian?
What about Delphine? Come on, you've got a beautiful fascinator. What makes you optimistic, Delphine?
What makes me optimistic? I think we live in a world where nothing is perfect, but what makes me optimistic now is to think that we can change it. Yeah. For a long time, I thought, with new technologies, the way things were used and sometimes how some people think it would be hard, but no, I think through change, and I read a book when I was 34 years old, which says after 35, your brain cannot change. You cannot, your brain has wires that cannot make you change, and that made me scared a bit, thinking, it's majority of the population that is after that age, and I was almost reaching that age. But no, it is not true. Through learning, through technology, if it's used properly, with the proper values, we can change the world, and that makes me optimistic because there are a lot of things to do on this planet to make it better.
Now, Bernie, you've taken off your hat, Bernie Walsh. Do you want to share what makes you optimistic?
Yeah, thanks very much. I took off the hat because it was too hot. Mine is very basic, as I mentioned to our group. When I wake up in the morning, if I'm still breathing and standing erect, I'm optimistic.
I love you, Bernie.
Tilak, what's making you optimistic?
Well, I'm a doctor by profession. I wake up every morning, so I know that people are relying on me, and I get excited to go and see them, greet them, and fixing their problems. That really drives me. My profession drives me very optimistic. I'm a very optimistic doctor as well. So everywhere, whether lifestyles, whether they're disease or whether they're pain, whatever, I always think of doing something about something. Every day I think about that when you get up. So I wake up every morning happy, not thinking that I can't go to this work. So I'm going there with a huge enthusiasm. So that's what my drive is.
Pam, what about you, that beautiful hat?
Oh. Well, I think I said it before. I think laughter makes me optimistic. Children make me optimistic. And generally, I think we do have an optimistic future here. But we just have to work at it. It requires quite a bit of work.
Peter Lugg, you're looking like you're in a beautiful spot. Will you share what makes you optimistic?
Grandchildren and youth was first, same as our group. But also I like getting feedback to your endeavours. So like Tilak said, when a patient gives you thanks, it gives you a great feeling, or a project you've got, simple as, digging fence posts like I've been this morning. You get them in, it's achievement. Achievement gives me optimism.
So Doug McLean, will you tell everyone what makes you optimistic?
probably what I find most optimistic is to spend time with the next generation or younger generation and just see that, you know, the creativity, especially if they're under about 5. I've got some great nieces and nephews and things. So I guess that's positive because they're going to be supporting us as we get older.
Andrew Crockett with that beautiful hat. What's making you optimistic?
Well, this is our group's response, actually. We worked this out as something that was, it brought out a consistent theme of our group, and it's really, as you said before, about young people being positive. But from our perspective, we're optimistic about the capacity, enthusiasm and achievements of young people. The one I mentioned particularly was towards global warming and the need for urgent action to ensure the world can survive.
Now, Jeff in the greenish sort of beret. Jeff, what's making you optimistic?
Yeah, I'm optimistic about, I take the view that nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you're going to achieve anything and be happy, then you need to be optimistic. Our group had a discussion on the environment and you know, what we felt about the environment and prospects for that, and generally felt quite positive about that it will work out, and particularly that the young generation will help to resolve that problem as well as the environment itself.
David, what makes you optimistic?
I'm optimistic about the fact that after 2008, when I had a quad bypass, after it was all over and done with, the doctor came in and said, David, I've just given you another 20 years of your life and I'm loving every bit of it. Thank you.
Gordon, you've got your hand up. What makes you optimistic?
I'm old enough to remember Churchill's speeches during the war, and we shall fight them on the beaches. That really kept Britain going when their backs were really against the wall. And you mentioned that Trump was optimistic. Well, perhaps it's not a bad thing.
Philip, you're ready to say something.
I just mentioned quickly that I'm very optimistic about my business. Our business being, I'm doing a bit of free ad here. I've got a paddle beating business. 70% of the cars are off the road. Our work's down 50%. But in 2 months' time, everybody gets back on the road and you'll be crashing everywhere and I'm going to be a happy man.
So, Ian, will you tell people what makes you optimistic?
Well, as I was saying in my group, I think that I've changed my view of what optimism is, because I've always thought about it as being that glass half full, glass half empty analogy. And I have to admit to it, I've often seen the glass half empty. But I've always found that view is something that's driven me on, because if the glass is only half full, then yeah, I'm spurred on to do more. But I think that what I said to my group was that my optimism is that it's just a matter of keeping on. If you haven't solved the problem now, it's just a matter of a bit more effort, and there's a solution there somewhere just waiting to be found.
Now, Rob Nethercote, you've stayed on from the Melbourne Rotary. Come and tell us what makes you optimistic.
A lot of profound comments have been made from Hawthorn people. Melbourne don't reach that level, but I think I'm optimistic that Geelong will win a final finally against Collingwood this weekend. But I'm a very lucky person. I have lots of things that happen in my life. I have a great partner, and she's running for council, so I'm very optimistic at the moment that she will be elected.
Which council is she running for, Rob?
Barandara, Junction Ward. Anyone in the group who is in Junction Ward, she is a fantastic independent councillor, or she will be.
Well, she'll get our vote. There is no doubt about that. There is no doubt about that.
We're having a fantastic time.
Now, Noel McInnes is ready to share optimism. Now, what's that? A black hat and a mask.
Thank you, Victor. Victor, our little breakout group was agreed on 2 items of optimism. The first was grandchildren, family, particularly the young ones, the grandchildren. Secondly, we were very optimistic that David Corrigan would find the start video button before the end of the session. We have established his welfare. He is still there and he's okay and he's still searching for the button. The third point of optimism I would like to add, I would like to be very optimistic that Donald Trump would get very well very soon so that he can comprehensively lose the election.
And Anne Scott, will you lead us out?
I just hope that our community is more caring and we have less children that are violated or whatever, and the next generation sort of can really work for the community, be caring citizens and have a loving relationship with the world.
That is beautiful. Look, thank you, everyone. It's just been wonderful to share your optimism and to be uplifted by it. If I can give you one action point, if you can have a bit of a think about, we've already collected 25 expressions of optimism here. Maybe if we could just add a few more, and your Christmas gift to yourselves could be Hawthorn Rotary's Book of Optimists. And all you need is a single quote each. Anyway, that's the challenge to you. I am so grateful you've given me the opportunity to join with you, to share what I've been learning and what I've been thinking, and to learn from each and every one of you. And I'll keep all those lovely comments you've written in the chat column. And Dr. Optimistic President, can I hand back to you?
Thank you, Victor. I'm a very infectiously optimistic guy, determined. And thank you very much. This is amazing. You gave us some hope. And you are very amazingly, I saw your webinar, there's always you got a smile. I think smile does not cost you anything. I think it's very cheap and makes people happy. And thank you once again. We really appreciate your time with us and gave us some thoughts. Now, I think I would invite Lawrence Ridgway, another optimistic, great British migrant to Australia. We will give you the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, President Tilak. I'm sure we all think that was a fabulous, fabulous session on optimism. A few quick thoughts, which I've written as it progressed. Unlock the optimism of the team. What a lovely concept. And then how do we measure optimism? I don't know the answer exactly. Saying hello to strangers, and Victor's wonderful suggestion, what's the best thing happening? Lovely open-ended question. Anyhow, and a gratitude diary and evidence of dreams not realized. And I'll end by saying thank you to Victor on your behalf, by saying, whereas Julian of Norwich 700 years ago said, all shall be well, I would say to Victor of Australia, thank you. All that was today was very well.